On the offensive side of the ball, we'll start off where it always starts, right up front with the offensive line. Had several returning starters from last year, starting off with Andy Nations. We think he's got a chance to be, an All-American, a guy that's got a chance to play pro ball. He had a great off-season in the weight room and continues to improve and get better. We think he's going to have a great senior year. Courtney Easterwood also returned at guard. He'll be a senior. I think he's got a chance to have a big-time year for us. The most improved players on our team this spring offensively were Skeeter Sellers at center, Taylor Burnett at guard and tackle, and Ethan Corcoran at tackle. Those three guys played a lot of games for us over the last 2 years, but they really stepped up their game. We think they got a chance to be really, really good players for us this fall. We added Nathaniel Worrell from Southern Mississippi, transferred in here at mid-year, a coach's son that's got a lot of knowledge of the game, and he's learning our system. We think he's got a chance to be a really good player. Also, Billy Ruck continued to improve, and John Marks also from Thomasville, two young guys in our program that continue to make strides, got stronger in the weight room. We think they've got a chance to contribute for us on down the road. At tight end, Stacy Graham returning back as a starter. Stacy's always been a great blocker. He really, really improved his game this offseason from a speed standpoint. He's always had great hands, but he just improved his core strength. And in our offseason program, had a great spring. Tyler O'Neill redshirted for us last year. We think when you add him in the mix with Stacy, we got a chance to have two really, really good tight ends that to help us be multiple offensively and do a lot of things. Moving back to fullback, Josh Sinkbill's a returning starter for us, had a good year for us last year. We really think he improved his game. Got healthy, had a shoulder injury last year. He's healthy now, had a great offseason program, and he just really improved his overall game this spring. And running back, we've got the best one in the country in Matt Willis. Matt had a great spring. Held him out a lot of contact because, I don't think he's got a lot to prove to anybody. But he had a great offseason program in the weight room and continued to get stronger and quicker and faster. Added a guy by the name of Danny Hobbs, who just did a phenomenal job this spring from Colin Community College. We think he's got a chance to be just a really, really, really good football player. As good a running back as we've had here, maybe besides Matt. And so we think we've got really good depth at running back moving forward. On out to wide receiver, one of the most improved players on our team was Marcus Brown this spring, a guy that's played a lot for us over the last 2 years, hadn't caught a lot of passes behind all the great receivers we had, in Gerald Worsham, Ken May, Randy Lowry, and those guys. But Marcus has played a lot and, just really stepped his game up this spring. You can tell he knows it's his time. He's going to be a junior now, and it's time for him to make plays, and he did. Kurt Amaker continued to be Kurt, just a solid, player, great blocker, great hands, move the chains guy, and he continued to build off that. We brought in 3 junior college guys, Malik Lofton and Jonathan Ducksworth from Jones Junior College were 2 of those guys, and they had just a really, really good spring. Malik made a lot of plays, had some trouble with some drops there towards the end of spring ball, which he's got to work on through the offseason, but we think Malik can be an explosive player for us. Jonathan is another guy that's just a really good blocker, kind of in the mold as Kurt Amaker with great hands. He's a big physical guy, had a nice spring game. We look forward to the future with him. And another guy that everybody saw in the spring game, Reggie Hall, just a tremendously fast young man, great young man, has been in the military, a guy that you got to get the ball in his hands as many ways as you can. We're looking forward to doing a lot of multiple things with Reggie and getting the ball in his hands as many ways as we can, and we think he's going to be a dynamic playmaker for us. Moving forward, on into quarterback, both of them had phenomenal springs. They kind of went back and forth all spring long. They split the reps right down the middle. Gary and Kyle did. Kyle would have a better day one day than Gary would, and Kyle would than Gary would, but they just really competed and got after each other. Obviously, Kyle had the better spring game. Everybody saw that. They're nip and tuck, right now going into summer camp and fall camp. When you tally up all the stats and everything, Kyle had just a slight edge over spring ball in the way they played, but we didn't do a lot of things that Gary's good at. The quarterback run game with the quarterback being live and all those things between the tackles. Gary's game is kind of similar to Tim Tebow's. So one good thing about it is I think we got the 2 best quarterbacks in the country, and I think man, that we'll be really good at that position in the fall.